What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Acts of Creation. And in this week's episode of Writing Chord Progressions, we're going to check out using a descending chromatic line. It's always a fun way to explore and create new progressions. So let's check out the example, and then we'll come back and we'll break it all down. Really fun example in C sharp minor, based right off that C sharp minor chord. Alright, so before we go in and break down the chord progression, I am in standard tuning, and down in the description below you guys can find links for the tabs as well as other ways to support the channel. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Alright, let's jump right in, okay? I'm in standard tuning, and I said, so the chord is, we're going to start out with a C sharp minor chord. Okay, but I'm only going to be using the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. So that's our string set for the entire example. Alright, so the first chord is in 9th position, ring fingers on 11, barring 9, 9. So it's 11, 9, 9. Okay, and our picking pattern is that, right? 4, 2, 4, 3, 2. String-wise, okay? And we're going to follow that all the way through, okay? So the first one is C sharp minor. Right, our second chord is 10, 11, 9. Right, so our descending chromatic line is going to go from 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and up right where we started, okay? So our second chord is 10, 11, 9. Now, this chord is basically a smaller version of this G sharp 7 chord, right? And if we're in the key of C sharp minor, this G sharp 7 is our 5 chord. Okay, so it's a very classical esque like 1-5 harmony. But when I'm writing this or trying to be creative and explore chords, I'm not necessarily thinking that. I'm not going to go, I'm going to play my 5 chord here. Not really, right? For guitar players, muscle memory kicks in, and one thing that we tend to do a lot is just change our bass note. Right? As we write riffs, we move down in half steps. It's just a common thing. So that was my initial idea. And I just, found a voicing that worked. Only in hindsight or post-analysis do you realize, oh yeah, I just grabbed my G sharp 7 chord here. Awesome. Alright? So then our third chord is an E major chord. And that bar chord is right around 999, stemming from this chord. Okay? But I do something different here. I add some melody notes on the top here. Picking pattern is the same, just the upper melody note changes from 12 to 9. Okay? Okay? And that 4th chord is now an F sharp major chord. Okay, but we're using this small triad inversion. 8, 6, 7. Okay, and the 7 being our F sharp. And I really like that because essentially those two chords are E, F sharp major, right? And when writing chord progressions, I don't really particularly like that kind of movement or the sound of that movement, right? Keeping the same voicing and just sequencing it up, right? But if I can play this E chord here, and then, right, there's some nice close movement there. Still playing a major chord, but it's not the same voicing, right? So that's kind of the idea behind that, right? And now we're going to switch, we're going to change this major chord to minor. Right, so the 8 comes down to 7. It's 7, 6, 7. And the melody notes are going to stay the same on those two chords. It's going to be 9 and 7. Like so. Okay? And again, if we're in the key of C sharp minor, this F sharp major chord, kind of like our major 4 chord, moving to a minor 4 chord. Kind of fun there. Okay, and then we end up moving down the 6, and we have this, essentially we're going back to our G sharp 7 chord, right? And our dominant 7 chord. We're over in this position now. And as I pick through it, I grab the octave, and then I grab this E note right here. And I try to do my best. It's a little bit of a stretch. You don't have to do that, but this part of it, I'm using a G sharp 7 chord. I'm mixing in some altered tensions, and I want these notes to kind of ring out all over each other to get that vibe. Especially right there, get that nice cross string second right there, leading us right back to where we started. All right, so those chords are C sharp minor, G sharp 7, E major, F sharp major, F sharp minor. It's a really hard voice thing. I never play. I don't like it. That's much easier. I just can't. It's just my hands. I don't know. Just can't do it, guys. I just can't do it. And then we get a nice G7 altered. Back to our root note. So there you guys go. Writing Chord Progressions, episode number 2, Descending Chromatic Lines. Really fun concept to incorporate. I hope you guys dig that idea. Down in the description below, you can find links to the transcription. Woohoo! All right, guys. As always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.